flies a rose in a fisted glove. The eagle flies with the dove. You can't be with the one you love. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Today I went to the movies, and one of the trailers they showed before the film was of the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. It blew my mind because I'd seen the trailer before, but this, seeing it in the theater, confirmed that this is actually a real thing. So in honor of that, I think it'd be fun if we talked about 5 films that I can't believe were actually made, like that one. This might be a reoccurring segment. This isn't like a top 5 of all time. This is a pretty broad subject matter. So maybe I can make more of these in the future. These are just 5. I'm ranking them, but like I said, not top 5 at all time. Number 5 is a movie that I don't know if anyone has heard of or remembers. I saw it on the Disney Channel a couple times as a kid. It's a 1994 film starring Sissy Spacek, where she plays 4 different roles, and it's called Trading Mom. Typical 90s film. The children at the beginning are angsty against their mother because she makes them eat their vegetables and go to bed on time. I don't know. I guess like they all gather around and like wish together, where they found some magic beans or some shit. But the next morning, after making a wish that their mom was gone, they wake up and it's true. Yay! They peed in the shower a couple times, ran around without their pants on, and they went down to the mommy market. The mommy market to purchase themselves a new mother. They're given 3 coins that are each good for 1 mommy. So the movie spans them buying a mother, finding out she's a bitch, and taking her back to the mommy market with their very lenient return policy and getting themselves a new mommy. Now, Sissy Spacek plays the real mom. She also plays all 3 of these mothers. I did not catch that as a kid. I don't know if I was just stupid or if she's really good in the movie. For the sake of the second one being a possibility, I'm not going to talk mad shit about this movie. It's just the mommy market? Really? I guess it's based on a book called The Mommy Market. So yeah, I guess there's really not much else to say about that. Number 2 is Cats and Dogs 2, The Revenge of Kitty Galore. I remember seeing the first Cats and Dogs film. I was in 1st grade. Came out in 2001. Came out 9 years before this sequel. It wasn't a particularly bad film. Does anybody that was in the proper generation when the movie came out give a shit? Really? Did a single person, I'm 20, I turn 21 next month. Anybody, if you are like 18 to 25, around that age range or whatever, where it would have been appealing when the first one came out. Does really anyone give a shit about the sequel? It's about talking cats and dogs that are fighting each other. Of course you can market that towards the current generation of children, but it's still a sequel. Do not make it if really no one that saw the original is gonna care. I'm sorry, but parents aren't exactly giving cats and dogs to their children. The 2001 film. It's not exactly a children's classic. It's not something you raise your kids with. No kids have seen it, and no one our age gives a shit about it. Like, really, did anyone around that age, like 18 to 25, see Cats and Dogs 2? Has any of you even thought about the first one in the last, like, 8 years? First came out and I was a kid, I was, like, super excited for it. Like, when I saw the trailers, I thought it looked like the coolest thing ever. But then when I actually saw the movie, I just thought it was okay. They spent $85 million on it. $85 million. It made back 43, which I like. I'm surprised it even made that much back. Made back half. Awesome, great job. Obviously just appealed by the marketability of talking cats and dogs. Like, find a new angle. Think, like, write another movie about cats and dogs. The fact that this movie was a sequel hurt it. I swear, like, it would have made more money if it wasn't a sequel. Because no one saw it because it was a sequel. Who remembers cats and dogs? Like, young children today, when they were, like, old enough to watch it, it would have been, like, 5 or 6 years old already. This isn't something their parents are just giving their kids. Number 3 is The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas. Always been one of the few that defend the first Flintstones movie. Yes, it's stupid. Yes, there's a lot of things bad about it. John Goodman and Rick Moranis are just so perfectly casted and matched together, and I think just have such good chemistry and are having a lot of fun. I really think they make the movie. Yes, it's kind of a bad movie when it comes down to it, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as this piece of shit. Holy fuck. We have a movie here that's completely controlled by an angle that is unlike what it's based on. Hey, like, just like that fucking SpongeBob movie we were talking about earlier. How about that? It's just like, the Flintstones is a dead cartoon. If you're gonna make a movie about it, give me the Flintstones that I know and love. Don't give me a prequel. Cool that they tied the kazoo in here. I don't understand how this movie was made. The biggest name here is Stephen Baldwin. Like, what did they think was gonna make people want to see this movie? Just the fact that it was the Flintstones? The people are just gonna see anything the Flintstones? The actor with the lead had been in 2 movies at the time, and one of them was Jack Frost. The other was The Full Monty, which sure was a critically successful film, but it was also about men stripping. This is a children's film. Number 2 is Jason X, or as I like to call it, Jason Goes to Space. This is the result of a filmmaker really not wanting a franchise to die. It's as deep into the bottom of the barrel as I think a human being could go to say, let's take him to space. He's gone to New York, he's gone to hell. We made a science fiction one yet? No? Okay, yeah, let's do a space one. Yeah, space one. Let's just have it set like a million years in the future where like it won't be that illogical. Everyone's in space in the future. In Jason Voorhees! I don't have anything else to say because I haven't seen this movie. I think I would die from laughter, and I don't want to die yet. I haven't had sex. Number 1 is Space Jam. Now, I know probably about 94% of you probably just like yelled or like punched your computer or said, "What the fuck, dude, you suck, you're a faggot." I probably already posted it in the comments. But slow your roll, home dog skillet biscuit, because I love Space Jam. The fact that it did end up getting made not only like confuses the shit out of me, but it makes me really happy because it's a great movie by the standards that are suitable to rate it on. If you're wondering why I have it at number 1, let me ask you a question. Yes, Space Jam is awesome. There's not too many movies quite like it. Have you ever really just stopped and thought about the concept of Space Jam? A number of adults came up with this concept. There's an amusement park on a cartoon alien planet that, in hopes of increasing revenue, want to enslave the Looney Tunes. So they enter Toonville, but the Looney Tunes aren't willing to go, so they challenge them to a game of basketball. And so the aliens suck out the basketball ability from NBA superstars, and in response, the Looney Tunes recruit Michael Jordan to help them. And Bill Murray plays himself. We have so many things here that are irrelevant from the Looney Tunes that it kind of somehow succeeds in what I was talking about earlier, to how if you're going to have something based off something we already know and love, stick to that. Like, don't just change it. Give us like what we know and love. Give us like a big, great episode. Don't give us something like completely different. But it worked here. And like they threw in aliens and basketball and live action people, all these things that don't really mesh with Looney Tunes generally, and they made this movie that like everyone still talks about. I think that's the reason why, is because it's different, it's freaking crazy, and it's just not something that adults who are licensed, experienced filmmakers would be like, yeah, let's turn this into a movie. Aliens playing basketball to Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan. So yeah. Thought-provoking stuff, kids. Thought-provoking stuff.